Welcome to Help Desk with Joe, and this is an inaugural edition of Help Desk with Joe. But as always, I have with me Joe. And Joe, this is different, but hey, we're here.
Yeah, if the year 2020 has taught us anything, it's be prepared for anything. And I kind of feel like the old westerns where the bad guy walks in and pulls out his 6 shooter and starts shooting that guy in the foot, telling him to dance. I feel like the guy that's trying to dance.
Well, it's a good thing you got some good moves, pal. That's all I'm saying because I'm literally sitting at my house, and you are sitting at the patch office, and we've reversed roles here. Now you're in charge of patch, and also in charge of
Just
the
for the time
technology.
being.
And we're doing our help desk with Joe, so it's pretty awesome. Due to the, like you said, the circumstances here in 2020, um, we're making adjustments on the fly. But hey, I like it. Help desk with Joe is happening.
Yeah, we're
So
doing yeah, we're doing it Brady Bunch edition. You just kind of look over and you see.
see who's in what window.
Yeah,
I got you. Well, this is exciting though. We're breaking new ground here, trying out new things, and it's really going to increase our ability to have shows and have people on the shows, which is I'm excited about because with due to COVID and our restrictions in our building, we're not able to have anybody come in the studio, but you obviously, and this will allow us to have guests come in without technically coming in. So
right.
this will open a whole new door for us.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm excited to roll this out, and always want to use myself as the guinea pig. So then, if when we have somebody else come in, they go, "Hey, you guys know what you're doing?" Like, sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, let's get started then. Help desk with Joe, our usual format, even though we're in a different setting, our usual format, three news updates, and then either a product review or some sort of tip of the week. And let's start out with news update number one, Joe. What do you got for us today?
Okay, so news event number one: Charlie Brown Christmas will air on PBS in spite of Apple TV Plus rights exclusive. So yeah, so every year the Charlie Brown specials at Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas are always big time, prime time on ABC specials.
Yeah, those are a staple. I mean, you have some staples, the Charlie Brown series, Elf, A Christmas Story plays 24 hours. Those are the things that we like.
Right. Yes. So uh, the Peanut, the company that handles the rights for Peanuts and Charlie Brown and all that, caught a lot of grief over since Apple, for their Apple Plus TV service, signed exclusive rights to this media and was just broadcasting the Charlie Brown Halloween special on Apple Plus. People threw a fit. I saw the story on WCHS, our local ABC affiliate, and it even made national news of, hey, no Charlie Brown this year. If you're wanting it, you need to go to Apple Plus only. So there was a huge uproar over this.
I'm sure that's a staple, and that's kind of like saying we're not going to air the Macy's Day Parade this year, except on this platform, and people can't get it. I mean, it's just crazy. What were they
Right.
thinking? Was there anything in the story about why the whoever's in charge of the Charlie Brown and Peanut stuff did that? I mean, that's just crazy in
So
my mind.
Right. So Apple announced yesterday that the animated holiday classic, A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving and A Charlie Brown Christmas, will indeed be appearing on TV this year. The news comes after some pushback against Apple TV Plus exclusive that found the Peanuts cartoon being pulled from the TV broadcast. And as it was noted last month, the deal would mark the first time in 55 years the beloved Christmas special wouldn't be on broadcast television.
Wow, 55 years. That's almost as long as this show, Joe.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, if people aren't familiar with that, we've got what 9 years under our belt now, maybe
Yeah.
of doing this show in some capacity. So yeah, cool. All right, 55. They got a couple years on us though, but that's all right. We'll get there.
Oh yeah. So thankfully, in addition to the TV Plus, the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving will be appearing on PBS on November 22nd at 7:30 local time, 6:30 Central, while Charlie Brown Christmas will air December 13th, 2020 at 7:30 p.m. local time, 6:30 Central on PBS. So, in addition to actually getting it on broadcast television, since it's going to be on PBS, it'll be commercial free.
Oh wow, nice. Now is this something that you do? I know you have a little one in the house, so is that the Charlie Brown specials? Is that something you all do?
We haven't. We just kind of. I have the DVDs, so
Okay.
Sadie can
Yeah, yeah.
so Sadie can kind of watch them at any time. So it's not a big
Not
deal.
not a
It was
not a special thing.
right. It wasn't a big deal breaker for us, but when I saw Facebook blowing up over it, I thought,
Oh yeah,
boy,
yeah.
we're onto something here. When
Yeah.
people was getting ready to ride in the streets over Charlie Brown.
Well, yeah, it's a staple. I mean, I got it. When my kids were little, we watched it every year and went out of our way to say, okay, this is going to be on, so we'd either record it or watch it. But and honestly, I had the DVDs as well, just because I like the series that much. They're just good cartoons.
Right.
And
But I mean, I got to give Apple the hats off to at least attempting to get exclusive rights, because if I have a streaming platform and I want to try to get as many eyeballs as possible, I want to get a heavy hitter, and boy, did they get
that's a
one.
big one. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a real big one. Oh well, good. I guess I don't know who advocated for it, but I'm happy that PBS has it. That makes it nice. I'm a big advocate of PBS. So yeah.
Yeah, I was excited when I saw that PBS was actually be able to pick up. I thought, great, that's going to do nothing but help them get
Yeah.
more eyeballs on their products. So hats off to Apple for doing the right thing, and
Yeah.
congratulations to PBS for being able to draw in a big audience like this.
Yeah, that's a good one. Nice. Okay. Well, what do you got for news update number 2? Now that we've got our, we'll get our Charlie Brown fix through the holidays, at least for Thanksgiving and Christmas. What do we got coming up next?
Okay, so a new update from TikTok. So
Oh
TikTok,
gosh.
yeah. Actually, this is a good one, believe it or not. So TikTok now lets parents make their teens' accounts more private.
Ooh,
Yes.
a little bit of parental control.
Yes.
I did not think, that's something I didn't think would happen because it was already so mainstream. Now they dial it back. Interesting.
Yeah, so TikTok is expanding its parental control feature yesterday to give parents more options over what their teens can see and how private their account is. Most of the updates are around privacy. Parents will now be able to restrict who can comment on the teens' videos, who can view their account, and who can see what videos they've liked. That allows parents to limit an account so that only their child's friends can see what they're up to. TikTok already offers the ability for parents to turn off or limit direct messages also. There are also some new content restrictions. Parents can now be able to stop their teenager from searching for videos, users, hashtags, or sounds, which could make it harder for them to find certain content in the app.
Nice. I mean, that's great. There needs to be some sort of screening filter there. You don't want a little child to even accidentally come across something they shouldn't be seeing. So that's good.
Right, or even with the teenagers, like the Tide Pod challenge and all.
Yeah, gosh. Well, I don't know. I kind of think that's, Darwinism in the making there.
Yeah, you and I've had lengthy discussions on that. All fair, of
I
course.
mean, you never want to see a teen do something dangerous, but by the time you're an adult, if you're still Tide Pod challenging yourself as an adult, yeah, okay. It's America. You're free.
Right.
That's kind of a mean approach, but hey, at some
Exactly.
point you got to draw the line. That's I saw my buddy sent me a meme and he's like, yeah, back in 1950, the car manual told you how to adjust the valves, and now it tells you not to drink the battery acid.
Yeah.
What's the world coming to? And I was like, that's where we're at. Tide Pod challenge, the whole.
Yep.
Yeah.
That sums it up right there.
I was like, and the sad part is I'm old enough to remember, and that car manuals used to have that kind of information in it. And now it is just strictly warnings of don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah, if you get a manual now, it's almost laughable. It's almost a pamphlet at this point, and it's basically, if you have troubles, take it to the dealer and don't drink the battery acid.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? But that's where we're at. 2020. You're welcome. Yeah. So, all right. Well, in your opinion, is that, I don't know, does Sadie, your daughter, watch TikTok? Do you have TikTok? Okay.
No.
So.
I've been on.
I know it's big with teens. My daughter's 14, so
Yeah, I've been on it a few times myself just to see what it's all about, and it's one of those. If you start in it, it's kind of like that rabbit hole where you can lose a lot of time real quick and not realize it, just flipping through. But
yeah,
as far as adding content, you're not going to see my face on there anytime soon that I know of.
But Joe, you're so pretty.
I know, but
you got to save something.
Yeah.
All right, I got you. Yeah, I don't do TikTok at all. I know it's big with teenagers and stuff, so I kind of, where I work with kids, I try to stay out of that social media stuff.
Right. Well,
This is my social media time, Joe. Me
yeah,
and you, buddy, right here. Help desk with Joe. That's all the
that's
social
right.
media I need.
There you go. Yeah, because I've been on it a few times just to see what it's all about and all that,
Yeah.
but
Do you
seeing
think?
seeing a sister, her kids, it's big with them too. So it's
Yeah.
one of those.
Oh,
Keep an eye on it. Let's see what this is all about.
yeah. I know, and I know, kids on our soccer team and stuff. They're always doing the TikTok dances or doing a dance to practice for TikTok.
Right.
It's funny, and it's cute. It's amusing when it's done that way appropriately. But I know, I have a 17-year-old, and he said, "Oh yeah, there's some stuff on there you don't want younger kids to see." So,
Right.
well, good for TikTok. Do you think there'll be backlash for that?
I don't see why there would be. I mean, if
Mm.
anything, now of course now with the teenagers, you're going to hear them cry and complain, but
Well, hey, good parenting is good parenting. This is how it is. Teenagers
e-
cry and complain about anything and everything anyway.
exactly, that's a sign of a good parent.
Yeah. So we've just covered a lot of stuff in one little news update. Good parenting, what the world's coming to in 2020, and anyway, yeah, don't drink battery acid in your car, please.
Yeah, if you take anything out of today's episode, don't drink the battery acid.
Yeah, stay out of that deal. I can see now I'm getting a virtual slap in the back of the head from Cena. Now, boys, come on.
Yeah. So can that be this week's tip of the week?
It probably needed right now.
Yeah.
Don't do the Tide Pod challenge. It's a trick, and don't drink your battery acid.
Yeah.
It's two tips right there for 1 week. Oh gosh, it's a shame when our technology help desk is about don't drink battery acid in your car.
Yeah. Of course, it's 2020, so
Yeah.
at this point, I just throw my hands up and go, "Yeah, let's just roll."
All right. Well, that's good news out of TikTok. I mean, as somebody that's an advocate for child safety, I like that. So
Yes.
it'll make everything better. Okay. All right. News update number 3. But we were rolling right along. Woo.
Yeah. So I got you on some good news with TikTok, so I'm going to bring you back down to normal here.
Oh gosh.
Hulu Live is increasing its price to $65 per month.
Ooh. Now, are you a Hulu guy? No, you're a
Sling.
Sling. That's right.
I'm
Okay.
Sling, but my grandparents have Hulu Live, so I have not broken this news to them yet. Because I just found it out last night.
How's that going over?
Well, I guarantee you right now that's going to be, well, you need to find us a cheaper solution. Well, the problem of it is everybody's going to the $65 a month plan. So
Really?
yeah.
What is it normally?
Right now it's $54.99, but they're going to
$10 jump.
Yep, it's going to be a $10 jump starting December 18th.
Do you think it's worth it? I mean, will that drive people away, or will they just say, it's worth $10 extra, no problem?
Well, the problem of it is YouTube TV is already charging that. So it's kind of hard to go from one platform to the other to save money. Now you can still go to like Sling TV, and actually T-Mobile launched, I believe it was last week or week before, they launched T-Mobile T-Vision.
Yeah.
Which right now until January, it's just exclusive for T-Mobile customers, and then they'll start releasing it out to everybody. And it's going to be cheaper. But the thing with Hulu Live and YouTube TV offer is your locals. So that's part of the package. You get your local affiliates.
You're a T-Mobile guy, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that something? Have you watched it at all?
No, I've not signed up with it yet. Honestly, I've been pleased with Sling, so there's not really been
no reason. I got you.
Yeah. Now I did look at the pricing, and some of the pricing packages, all depends on which package you go with. I mean, you can get just a bare bone basic package, limited amount of channels for as cheap as $10 a month.
Yeah.
And then like what they call their basic package is about $40 to $50 a month. So I mean, it's not bad. It's comparable to everybody else. It's just I haven't jumped in yet to look at it.
It's weird. I'm surprised by this. I would have thought prices would have went down because it seems like more competitions in the game now with Apple TV, Disney Plus, Hulu, the list goes on and on, YouTube. How are they going to get away with raising the price? I mean, is that just the norm now? Kind of like, satellite TV or whatever. It's just kind of all float in the same area.
Well, I think it's one of those that people moved over to streaming to say, okay, we don't have to be as competitive now. Everybody else is charging this price, so why don't we jump in? And then it's basically, okay, here's the price of ice cream. You tell us what flavor you want.
Hey, I like ice cream.
I do too.
Now we're talking, Joe. This show just got real. Well, I'm. You know what? Here's what we need. Somebody listening to this podcast needs to front us some money. Let's start a business. Let's undercut everybody in the streaming deal, and we'll come out with a help desk with Joe's and watch streaming cheap.
There you go.
Kind
And
of like,
then
I go back to the Wise guys, the Wise cameras. I watched
yes,
one of their videos last week, and I'm like, brilliant. You know what? Because they're making these cameras and all these technology gadgets, so to speak, and they're just upping the price because they can. And then Wise comes in and says, hey, I got the same product or a better product, but I don't have to charge as much because I'm not going to be that greedy. It's just a small company, and we're going to do our deal, and it's brilliant. So do you think that'll happen with streaming,
I think, well,
or is
the
it
way the
just too
market,
hard?
I think it's too hard at this point because you have so many people cutting the cord that all the providers are just sitting back and saying, okay, yeah, we'll take your money
Yeah, come done.
until somebody comes in and really makes a splash and starts shaking things up. I'm afraid to say this might be the status quo for at least the next little bit.
So no hope for Joe TV.
Unless there's some venture capitalist that would want to sign us up with some money, I'd be more than happy to take some money and let's see what we can do with it. I mean, I'm not against that idea.
All right, here we go. So if you're out there listening and you got some dough you want to sling around for a good idea, Joe TV could be the next thing.
I like it.
Yeah. All right. Holy cow. $65. I mean, I don't know. I'm old school. So like when my satellite TV bill got up to, 70, $80, I was like, no, not worth it. And I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I was tempted when I called them and they're like, well, we can get you back in at like $35 or $40 for 6 or 7 months. I was like, yeah, for that, I'm interested, but they wouldn't go for it and keep me at that. So I was like, nah, never mind, just cancel it and go. I don't know, man. 65. What do you think? I mean, does that seem realistic, or am I just too old school on that one?
that doesn't it doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility because we have Sling and Sling is cheaper,
Yeah,
but we don't have our local affiliates because we use an antenna. So
you kind
like in
of.
my yes, so it's kind of a trade-off.
I
Now
gotcha.
in my grandparents' case, I tried getting them set up with an antenna and you just couldn't pick up anything just where
Right.
they're located. So Hulu Live was the best option because it was cheaper and they was able to get their local affiliates.
And what kind of reaction do you think they're going to give you when you tell them?
Oh, I can tell you right now, it's going to be the end of the world. Because they jumped up. Hulu last. I got called. Why is this going? They do this, and it's like my hands are tied. This is. I can't control this.
Do they give you the old my IT guy stinks? I'm getting a new one.
No, no.
No. Yeah, I can't get away with that either. So
But
I
this
do
is
throw out my IT guy stinks every once in a while. But you and I both know the truth. So
right. Yeah, so this is actually kind of interesting because this is where you are right in the middle of all this. You're cutting the cord and trying to find the best options, best solutions, and everybody's jumping up and saying, "Hey, here's the price of ice cream. Just tell us which flavor."
I don't know where I stand according. I'm pretty sure I'm not normal in this deal, but honestly, you turn me towards Pluto TV, and
Yeah.
if I feel like watching something, which I've maybe done twice in the last week or two, I'll just flip over to Hulu. And honestly, I go right to one of the older movies, an '80s movie or something like that, and I'll watch, a half hour, or whatever with that, and that's all I need. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, and move on. So on it for free like that, and kind of fitting in the genre of what I like to watch, Pluto TV for free. That's easy, slam dunk for me.
Yes, so that moves us into this week's review. So
Ooh.
as if we're not going to change enough up, you're actually going to give us the review this week. So
Okay.
speaking of Pluto TV, so let's get Dave's review on Pluto TV.
Okay. So I'm going to pull it up here real quick just so I can look at it and make sure I don't miss anything.
Okay.
So give me 1 second and um, got to find it. I don't use it very often. Okay. It's coming up. Maybe. I know.
It's coming.
Normally it doesn't take this long. Okay, here we go. So Pluto TV, and you probably know more about the actual Pluto TV than I do. I'm just the knucklehead that you had loaded on my phone and start just watching. If that makes sense. I don't know. Is there any technical jargon that people need to know about Pluto TV?
So if you have not ever heard of Pluto TV, basically what Pluto TV is, it's a free streaming service, and it's not like well, it has bits and pieces like Netflix. Like it has an on-demand section where you can go and pick like a movie or TV show you want to watch. But basically, what got them noticed is it's all their channels are absolutely free,
Yep.
and it's a nonstop, constant 24-hour streaming of content.
Yep.
And they literally have everything. They have everything from music channels to kids channels to
Well,
sports, news.
Let me
everything.
interrupt you there, and I'll run right through it. So movies, okay. So they have featured, whatever feature it is, and they list kind of I don't know, probably 6, 7, 8 channels that are featured. Then they have movies, entertainment, news and opinion, seasons, greetings, reality, crime, comedy, classic TV, home, do-it-yourself type deal, explore, sports, gaming, and anime, music, Latino, kids, and local. You know, I didn't realize they had local. Let me see what that is. So local is way down at the bottom. So it has CBS, Bay Area, Boston, Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles, Minnesota, New York, Philly, and Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
That's kind of cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, those are the local affiliates that they have signed on to broadcast onto Pluto or to stream onto Pluto.
Right. I mean, that's pretty cool because like we're 3 hours from Pittsburgh, but if we really wanted like some local national news, that would be close enough to be interesting.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, well, when Pluto started, they started this, and they started, obtaining rights to content and all this and that, and started streaming the content, and they started gaining so much traction that CBS actually stepped in and said, "Here, why don't we take things over?" And it actually has a balloon from there. So there are some channels, you've seen where they have content where, like the classic TV where it just streams a different show every half hour or hour. And there's some channels where it just streams one show nonstop, like Dog the Bounty Hunter, Cops, Survivor, American Gladiators. And when I'm talking American Gladiators, I'm talking, if you're a fan of that, the old 90s American Gladiators. And it just streams that one show. Now each episode's different, but that one show on that one channel for nonstop.
Yep. And that's I don't know. I'm weird about it, so I just went straight to movies every time. I didn't even a lot of other stuff, but good movies. It's got the 70s cinema, 80s rewind, 90s throwback, documentaries, terror TV, horror, thrillers, crime, romance, Pluto Fantastic, which is like Spiderwick Chronicles, drama, comedy. So I mean, it's got 007 channel, so you can watch all the 007 movies. Pretty cool. Yeah. There's commercials. Now the commercials pop up, and usually it's I would say longer than normal commercials, like 3 or 4 3-minute commercials probably, but it's free. So there's a price for everything.
Right.
And the commercials aren't bad. They're just regular commercials, I guess. But yeah, it's pretty neat stuff. So I'm really impressed with the amount of channels and the specific categories they put them in. Like 90s throwback. I mean, that's such a good idea. 80s, 70s. So if you really, for me, it was kind of cool because I like the 90s throwback. I like some of the 80s. I don't, really go back into the 70s, but I'm sure like my parents would. They'd be like, oh yeah, I'll watch, I remember these shows. And, I don't know that you'd get those kind of shows anywhere else. So I don't know. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'm surprised on the types of content because you think with it being free that it would be what they call, like B movies and stuff that you very rarely hear about or hard to find. But I mean, they crank out some top-notch content.
Minority Report is on the action. Seabiscuit's on drama. The Spiderwick Chronicles. The Mighty Quinn. Horror is Children of the Corn. Now that's an old one. Meet the Patels. The Inconvenient Truth is a documentary. 90s throwback is Molly. Girls Just Want to Have Fun is the 80s rewind. Let me see. Alien Origin. And then you get into entertainment. I mean, they got a lot of good stuff. If like I know Dawson, I've never watched Dawson's Creek, but Dawson's Creek, I remember that was a big show. Melrose Place, Baywatch, Star Trek. They got a whole Star Trek channel, and then they got a sci-fi channel. So pretty neat. Jerry Springer Show, Judge Karen's Court. Yeah, Deal or No Deal. They got a lot of game show channels. MTV, my goodness, MTV. And they got Rob Dradek's Factory Fantasy, or Fantasy Factory, which Kel and I used to love that show back when he was into skateboarding. Yeah, so I mean, a lot. I was really impressed. One of the things I was impressed with was the amount of channels, and like you said, not like B-level shows. They're all good shows. Now,
Right.
I don't know that I haven't looked frequently enough to know if they show like new movies, but they've all been quality movies.
Yeah, they typically just show older content, probably due to licensing and all that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's been A and B grade movies. It's not been these movies
Yeah.
that you've never heard of, featuring people that don't have any clue who they are.
Yeah, they're all big name movies. You're right, just older. Okay, so yeah, Pluto TV, man, it's well worth checking out. Honestly, I would not pay for TV at all, but I will pay the price of watching some commercials to watch a movie occasionally when I feel like it.
Right. So, okay, so let's hear your pros and cons.
Okay, the pros, it's easy to navigate. It has the title across the top, and I don't know, can I show it on here?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see. You can see the title, and I'm on the first category, and get it working. So, shoot, I just had a message pop up there. So if I scroll that way, you can see the titles, and you just pick the title, and it quick jumps to it. I do like that. Very easy to navigate. Nothing tricky about it. You just go through and look at what category you want and then go through that category. And I do like that when you get to the end of the category, it automatically, like it'll go, you can see, I went through reality and now it just kicked to the next category. So it automatically kicks to it for you and has a little bar there that you can see. And that makes it really simple to navigate. So I feel like even like my mom, who's not very technologically savvy, could navigate this really easy. Yeah, so I think that's a big pro. Navigation is smooth. You just click on the app, it pops up, and they show you. You can see it's got a show running, the featured show. It runs. So that's really good. And that, I don't know. I'm not a very good product reviewer, I guess, but that was a big pro. Ease of navigation right away. I don't know. Do you have any? You're probably a little more familiar with it than I am.
Well, what I like about it is the price.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, you're right. That's another huge pro. Free.
Yeah.
Free. How do you beat free? Again, you got commercials, but you have commercials on regular TV anyway. So in my mind, that's not a big deal. So it's free.
Yeah, the commercials, like you said, there are times they're a little longer, but honestly, it's not bothered me.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't notice, honestly. At first I was kind of like, well, if you go on like HBO or Showtime or something like that, you kind of watch movies without commercials. But to me, it's not a big deal, especially, you know how much HBO and Showtime would cost you for free.
Right.
Heck yeah, I'll watch some commercials. Yeah, not a big deal at all. So yeah. Okay, so 2 pros: ease of navigation and the cost, free.
Right. So any cons?
Yeah. You can't, it's like regular TV. And I don't know what I was expecting. I was kind of like expecting maybe since it was streaming, it would be more, you pick your movie and you start, stop, or pause, but there's none of that. It just, and it shows you like, you should be able to see the dark gray, there's the black, and then the area is where the show is currently at. So if you want to watch a movie, for instance, I don't know, or this show fails of the week or whatever, comedy channel, you pick up right where it is. There's no rewind, stop, or pause. So it's just like watching regular TV. And I don't know that that's a con necessarily, but I just kind of thought, since it's streaming, there would be like a pause, stop, or start it now and watch it deal, but it's not. So not really a con, but yeah.
Well,
I don't know what I expected. So
well, I'm with you. I've kind of gotten spoiled. The DVR has changed everything. So going to something like Pluto, where it's streaming, it's just like live TV. The only difference is is you didn't pay that extra $5 a month for the DVR to get that pause.
Yeah,
So there are times I do find that a minor inconvenience because I've just become so accustomed to pausing everything. So that is, I'm like you, it's not a true honest con, but
yeah,
it's an inconvenience. So it's kind of hard to push it as a full con, but yeah,
yeah.
it's an inconvenience.
Well, I think if I had never had DVR before, then it wouldn't bother me.
Yes.
Like it wouldn't bother my mom because she doesn't know how DVR works and never
Right.
uses it.
Right.
Where I'm the opposite, I know like with sports and so forth, I'm not going to be there, so I'll jump ahead a couple of days and say, "Oh, this particular race or game or whatever is on, or this movie, and I want to watch it, so I'll record it and then just go back and watch it later." And I was big on that. Like I recorded, my DVR, I had probably 30 movies that I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll watch this," or whatever. And with this, I don't have that ability, so I think, like you said, it's not a true con, but it's one of those deals where if I didn't know, I would notice. But since I do know, ignorance isn't bliss because I do know.
Right.
But yeah, I agree. I don't think it's fair to hold that as a true con, but it's one of those things where, boy, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
Both times I jumped in to watch movies past couple weeks, it was halfway through them, and I was like, man, I'd love to see the beginning, but I watched what I wanted to and went on, so not a big
Right.
deal.
Right.
Another con is you don't have, like it's in the categories, so you don't really have what you may be used to, like with DirecTV, like TBS, USA. If you kind of like those type of channels, they don't necessarily have those. Now they do have like Comedy Central and stuff like that, but they don't, and they have like Tosh Point oh. I'm gonna look here, Classic TV. Now they have a lot of Classic TV, which is pretty cool. And I guess some of it does carry over, the home and do-it-yourself stuff. The sports, Fox, Major League Soccer. So they do kind of have some of that stuff, which I didn't look at. But if you go like the entertainment and stuff, it just depends on what you're used to. Now they have AMC, they have TV Land Drama, but it's more, I don't know, it's just weirder to me because then you have like just Baywatch. I don't know if that's a real channel or not, or if that's their channel, but you just have Baywatch, which I guess is just Baywatch 24/7.
That's exactly what it
Yeah.
is.
And Pluto Love Stories, which is McLeod's Daughters, and then Pluto Suspense. So if you're just hung on that you have to have like TBS, USA, it may not appeal as much maybe, but it doesn't bother me at all.
Right.
But it might be a con for somebody that's kind of in that niche of, I want my TBS because I just kind of like how they do programming, if that makes sense.
Right.
I don't know, but I don't see that as a real con either. It's just one of those deals that it might take some time to adjust to the format of these channels.
Right. Now, I'll tell you the one true con I have with them is with their Roku app. On your phone, you can select your channels and you make your favorites list and all that. So then you can turn on just your favorites list and then just scroll through the channels on your favorites list instead of having to scroll through the entire lineup. On the Roku app, it does not give you that capability. So you have to scroll through everything all the time.
Yeah, I think I saw favorites on here.
So I would love for them to create the favorite section for the Roku app. So then when I sit down, I don't have to scroll all the way through the entire list. I can get the channels that I watch on a regular basis and can see what's on those channels instead of having to watch one, scroll past 4, look at 2 more, scroll past 10 more. And
so Joe, there's actually on demand on the bottom of it, and I just
yes.
pulled it up. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
So I guess you can watch movies from start to finish.
Yeah, it all depends on the TV show or movie that they offer the on-demand section. It's not everything's available on demand, but there is several.
Yeah, I mean,
several
Mac, my
things.
goodness, I didn't even notice that. I mean, wow,
Changes everything.
it does actually, because yeah. So there you go. Never mind. I take my con back. There are some things that you can watch and start and stop when you want. Problem solved. I wonder if they just added that because they were listening to our podcast. I'm like, hey, guys, we can fix this. Watch.
Yeah, watch this.
Bam. Okay, so yeah, I mean okay, so now I'm going to add another pro in there. They have a section that is watch this now or watch now, it's free. I just pulled up a movie there and was like, it's going to play. So it's free, and you can watch the list of movies. They had probably 15 movies under the one category. They were all older, but like Multiplicity with Michael Keaton in it. That's a good movie.
Right.
And Major League with Tom Berenger and that crew. So quality movies, older but quality. And hey, dang it, daggone, that's a slam dunk. Heck yeah. Okay, didn't know that. I just learned something today. Thank you, Joe. My technology guy is on it. Okay, so I'm gonna go with that. So my pros: ease of use, quality, scheduling, or I don't. You used a specific word there for it.
Quality of content.
Yeah, quality content. Not shady B, C line movies, and the on-demand part is awesome. I just learned that. And then my cons are going to be that the in the channel stuff, you can't start and stop or stream like you could. No, you don't have DVR essentially.
Right.
But that's only a con if you're used to it, or
Right.
you need that, or like that, or want that. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not very good at these reviews, Joe. You're going to take back over next week, man. I feel like I just train wrecked this whole review.
No, it's perfect.
But yeah, so okay, we'll go with that. 3 pros and 1 con.
All right, great. So on the 5-star review, where do you rate it?
For me, I would have to say a solid 4. Now, if it had newer movies and had like a DVR option, I would say it'd be a home run and a 5. But I say that with the idea that it is what it is, and it's meeting that need because it's free. I mean, my goodness, it's free. So how do you complain about something that's free and does that good of a job?
Right.
But I'm still going to say a solid 4 just because I think there is a little leeway in the programming. I mean, Children of the Corn, that movie's, my goodness, back when I was a kid. Which, I mean, hey, it's still scary, still relevant, I guess. But, I don't know. I think you'd have to be a certain type of person that would be okay with commercials and be okay with that kind of content. It fits the bill for me perfectly because I'm not paying for TV at this point. I don't care how it goes.
And I have to give the tip of the hat off to CBS because I was afraid that Pluto, they had gained so much traction and made such a big splash that when CBS took over, because CBS has that CBS All Access.
Yeah.
Which it's a paid monthly subscription. And I was afraid that what they was going to do is they was just going to take it over and pull the plug on it or just give you the nonsense content that nobody watches. But considering CBS's vast library of content, they have upped their game with Pluto TV that, yeah, we still have CBS All Access over here. Don't forget to pay over here and subscribe over here. But they still, gave Pluto the little nudge, the little polish to say, yeah, but we can, you guys made a big splash. Let's keep the numbers rolling on that.
That's a good point. I need to add that in as a pro. There is local content for major cities. I mean, that's a big deal. If you wanted to watch I say local news, but I mean, if you wanted to watch regional news, you could. I mean,
Right.
Pittsburgh news for us is fairly relevant, and the weather would be very similar. You could see, our area in the Pittsburgh news for the most part and weather. So, yeah, I mean, that's another pro. Let me add that one in there. That CBS part or portion is pretty nice, actually. So, not all of us have an IT guy that can slap an antenna on our house and get local TV.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, Joe.
Right.
And get that to work, We're almost family, Joe. So maybe.
Oh, I know.
Maybe I have an antenna coming my way. I don't know.
Well, no, I might have one where I can set you up with, try out. Yeah, you hear that, Dave? I might actually let you have something to try out.
I know how this works. If you had it with you today, it wouldn't have the power cord. Oh, sorry, Dave. I don't have a power cord with me, but I'll loan it to you at some point.
Yeah. How about this? I'll bring you the power cord, then I'll just leave the antenna.
You keep all the goodies to yourself, man. I know how it works.
Hey, it just perks of the job, buddy.
I know. It's a good perk, too. You always get all the cool stuff. Did you get all your Black Friday shopping stuff in?
Prime Day, yes.
Or
Black Friday, Prime Day, yes. And actually, I have a couple things lined up ready for reviews on that.
Nice.
I have at least one thing I want to show you in person, so we'll wait till we can get back in person and do it.
Yeah.
But Prime Day, some of the stuff, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll save that. That'll be a show. We'll save that for the next show and kind of go over.
then I'm excited. I have not sat down yet to do Black Friday shopping to see what kind of gizmos and gadgets are coming available on that. So I'm anxious to sit down this weekend maybe and take a look at that.
Okay. Hey, that sounds good, man. You always got good stuff coming up for the next show, so I'm always excited about it because I'm not a. I mean, I like technology. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not a big technology go finder guy. You kind of bring it to my door for me, like, hey, I'm super excited about the Wise cameras. I'm gonna get those. I'm gonna get the Wise doorbell thing,
Yes.
and I'm gonna get a couple of Wise cameras. I just haven't done it yet, but I'm going
Now,
to.
now, have you seen where they just released the version 3?
Yeah, that's what I was
Okay.
kind of waiting on. I looked at it and
Okay.
I was like, well, for the version 3, I just got to wait a month. Yeah, no big deal. I don't miss it because I don't have it. So
Right. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and because I showed him the version 2, and actually
yeah,
sold him one, and he said, "Hey, will this work as a dash cam?" I went, "I don't know." So now I have a new project to test with the Wise cams to
nice.
see how well it would work with as a dash cam. I was like, "Oh, that would be perfect," because I've been looking at dash cams, but I just can't, shell out that money, $100 plus
Yeah,
for a decent dash cam. But if this works, game changer.
I gotta ask, what are you gonna do with the dash cam? I mean, we live in a rural area, farmland, cow, deer. Oh, deer, more deer, and cow.
Well, a lot of places, this actually is more of a benefit for uh, vehicle insurance purposes. If
Really?
Yeah, if somebody hits you and drives off or whatever, or if you get an automobile accident and they say, "Well, it's your fault because you did this."
Yep.
No, look right here, you crossed the yellow line, you smacked into me.
All right. Hopefully, it's not you crossing the yellow line and like, oh, let me see your dash cam footage.
Well, the card
It's
went
broken.
bad. Yeah,
Broken.
yeah, and some places of the world, actually like Russia, if you own
Yeah.
a car and drive it, it's required to have a dash cam, and they said that there's been several studies that show the use of dash cams has actually decreased a lot of automobile accidents and stuff like that, or
They're crazy
false,
over there. I mean, that's,
fal- a lot of false claims and stuff like that, because the proof's in the pudding. It's right
yeah.
there.
What's my nephew Austin just went to Turkey to paraglide, and he was one of his stories was traffic, scooters everywhere, people driving everywhere, no stoplights, no stop signs, you just drove. And he said it was crazy. And I can see in a situation like that, and yeah, you need a dash cam. I was joking with you because we live in rural West Virginia where
Right. Yeah.
you're driving for miles on just farmland, where most of the dash cam funny stuff and interesting stuff happens in cities where there's tons of traffic and pedestrians and, you know,
Right. The only excitement you might get around here is if you smack a deer just right and it rolls across the hood of your vehicle.
yeah. So they'll say deer, and more deer,
Yeah.
some deer. But yeah, interesting stuff. All right. Well, what else you got for us today? Is that it?
That's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, 3 great news tidbits. I'm really happy to hear about the TikTok having a little parental screening on it, and that's exciting. And of course, I got to do a review. Yes.
Yes.
Pluto TV. I finally watched enough of it to make a decent review out of it. So good deal on that. And again, help desk with Joe, man. If someone wanted to get a hold of you, if they had questions, because we talked about like the Wise cameras, and you're very knowledgeable about that stuff. Or someone has questions about anything we talked about today, how do they get a hold of you, Joe?
You can give us a call at our office at 304-927-3588. Check out our website at amdigitaltechnologies.com, or follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at AM Digital Tech for all that. Or be sure to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review for the podcast, Help Desk with Joe and Dave. And we are on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, anywhere you can get your fine content for podcasting.
Nice. Well, I appreciate it. And I know we couldn't make it without your services. I think I called you 3 times yesterday to have you fix stuff. And then for this podcast, you had to remote into my computer to get my stuff working. So, you're the IT guy, Joe. Hats off to you, because I was really skeptical about my ability to get this working for me. And it took you a couple minutes just to remote in and blah, 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 fixed and done. There you go. So
Well,
make it really easy, man.
it's funny, we're recording on Microsoft Teams, and I've had the software for a year or two, because it comes with our Office 365 subscription, but I've never used it. So I used it Tuesday night to test with it, and that's why I messaged you yesterday. I was like, "Hey, I think I found a solution here, so let's
Yeah.
try it out." And I have to say, so far it's ran pretty smooth.
Oh, this is fantastic. I mean, I was really worried because, I'm on restricted quarantine. I don't have COVID or anything, but due to contact and issues, where we do with our after school work with kids and stuff, I'm on quarantine
Yeah,
the
you're
same as I would.
right, precautionary
Yeah,
quarantine.
yeah, that's a good way to put it. Precautionary quarantine. So I was really worried about not being able to do the show and so forth. So this is just a perfect deal. And now, like you said, you had the ideas like, hey, now we can start having people come in and not come in, because that was one of our real concerns. We have in our studio where the radio set up and stuff is, and the podcast set up, our daycare is just down the hall, so we can't have people. It's not allowed. And we've put all our other stuff on pause. So Joe, you figured out how to make it work, man. So hats off to you, because that's what I like about you. You're always thinking, problem solver. And so
Yeah,
anyway,
2020 has given me plenty of experience on this.
yeah. So again, if you have any questions or need anything like that, shop local. Check out Joe and Cena at A&M Digital Technologies, and again, A&M Digital Technologies powers all our patch stuff, and keeps us moving right along here in this technologically driven world. So give them a call, and right here in West Virginia. You guys do a lot of regional stuff. I know you were doing the election stuff throughout West Virginia and stayed busy.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
goodness.
Yes, Cena and I both had the opportunity on election day to see the finer parts of West Virginia, a lot of the stuff that you don't normally see just traveling the highways and byways. So it's kind of fun. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Of course, with the election day itself, it's interesting enough. And I'm not talking just this 2020 general election, just election day in general.
General, yeah.
Yeah, just see the hustle and bustle of what goes on inside a county, and it's been a completely different game changer being from the outside looking in. I just walk in, cast my vote, walk out, and actually get to peek behind the curtain and see all the work that goes in beforehand and afterwards. It really makes you appreciate, as a U.S. citizen, being able to cast your vote or
Yeah.
voice your vote for saying, hey, I want this person in charge of whatever the position may be.
Yeah, and it's pretty neat. You get to see the behind the scenes part of that. And yet, who would when you first told me about this years ago, about hey, I got to go work on this election stuff, I was like, why is a technology guy involved? That's kind of crazy to me, but now it's all technologically driven. It makes
Right.
sense. But it's pretty cool you get to see that. So neat stuff, Joe. You're into a lot of good stuff. So all right, well we've hit an hour today. Holy cow! So good stuff. We can talk.
That's one thing we're gifted with, Dave.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is Help Desk with Joe, and with me, as always, Joe here with A&M Digital Technologies. And make sure you check out A&M Digital Technologies on all the platforms. And we'll be back next week with more stuff, and maybe have Justin join us for the show, and we'll start working on some other good stuff for you.
Yes, we got this working out with the two of us. Let's get Justin in next week and make it actually look professional.
Oh gosh. Justin will be happy to hear that he adds a professional element. I'm not sure what element you and I add. If he's the professional in this, we're in trouble. All right. Well, again, thanks for checking out our show, and we look forward to more. And we'll be back next week. A&M Digital Technologies here with Help Desk with Joe.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.